Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope everyone is having an amazing day. I hope you guys got a chance to see how Baba did. It actually went to 292 from the initial entry of 267 area. So I hope you guys had a chance to check out my two videos. So today we're going to talk about, continue our discussion on stocks and also dividends, okay? So basically what happens is when you go and buy shares at your brokerage account, so brokerage account is like a special account that you need to set up to buy shares. What happens is you buy X amount of shares for the amount that you paid. So typically what happens is it takes 3 business days for you to actually get the shares, right, and the cash to settle. So it takes 3 business days, but you'll see the position in your account, but for it to settle, it takes 3 business days. That's how the system works, right? So even when you sell the shares, it will take up to 3 days for you to get your money. But depending on your account, sometimes they may give you the money. If you have a margin account, for example, they might leave the funds available to you. So that's what happens when you buy, sell shares, right? So now we're going to quickly touch on dividends. So what are dividends? So dividends are basically gifts to shareholders, right? That's like a thank you. So dividends, you have to remember, is dividends are typically paid out after all the expenses have been accounted for, right? So dividends are usually paid with after-tax income. Okay, so whenever a company is paying out dividends, that means they have to be extremely confident about their cash flows in order to maintain their dividend payments. Why? Because companies do not like to cut dividends. It is like a big no-no. So whenever you see a company cut dividends, that's the biggest red flag that you'll see, right? The minute companies start cutting dividends, that's one of the early warning signs for you to get out. Usually you want to invest in companies that are continuously increasing their dividends. How often are dividends paid? Dividends are paid either annually, semi-annually, which is annually is once a year, semi-annually is twice a year, quarterly, which is 4 times a year, or even monthly, depending on the company. This all depends on the company. They can change the policies anytime they wish. And yeah, so you want to be investing in companies that are consistently increasing their dividends. So typically what happens is, so this is what happens. So basically the companies will announce their numbers, and then what they'll do is they will announce the date of when the dividends will get paid out. For example, so the declaration date is when they announced the dividend details during their conference calls. The ex-dividend date is you need to own the shares by before this date in order to be eligible for the dividend. And the record date is what they use, right? They get all the information. The companies call all the brokers and be like, okay, give me all the shareholders' information as of this record date, right? So why is it 8/12/2013? As you know, I told you it takes 3 days for stocks to settle, right? So you had to buy the stock on Wednesday, right? So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Monday is end of day. Monday is your 3rd business day, right? That's why that exists. And then payable date is usually a few weeks later because they want to make sure they have all the information and they pay you the dividends in either cash or shares, stocks, fractional shares. Okay, so basically, ideally, you would want to not to take the cash payment because there's a tax implication on it. You should be paying at least, I believe, depending on where you are, 15 to, I don't even know, like I think 40%. Depends, right, on the circumstance, on the company type, and your residency. You may pay more taxes, right? So don't quote me on that. So that's a separate conversation. But if you take the dividend payment as fractional shares, you don't get taxed on that because they will just go and buy the shares for you in fractional quantity. So now, say you had, for example, 1 Disney share, right? Now you get a dividend of 86 cents. So now you're going to have 1.0001 share of Disney, and then eventually, as you see over time, it's going to get added on, right? As every 3 months, you're going to get paid dividends, and that one share is eventually going to start going up slowly, and you get paid dividend for fractional shares as well, right? They'll calculate it out and give you a portion of that. So that is how that works. And now I will show you in a real life example of Disney, right? So all I did was search dividend history for Disney on Google, and this is what it pulls up. So as you can see, on 2011, they used to pay quarterly dividends, and then they changed it to annual, and then they changed it to semi-annual, and that's what they've been doing. And if you see, the pattern here is, you can see they've been consistently going up, right? And so then this is your declaration date. This is the record date. This is what you have to hold the dividend. I mean, the shares, right? And they don't have the X. Oh, yeah, the X date is here. So you need to buy the shares before 12/13/2019. So 12/12, you need to hold it. And 3 business days will give you this. And the payment date is usually a month later, right? So that's how that works. So if you own one Disney share, you're going to get 88 cents every 2 years just to hold the shares, regardless of what the shares do. So this is how serious companies are about not cutting dividends, okay? Disney, even during the pandemic, the stock went from 153 to 90, okay? What they did was they laid off staff, they cut their workforce, but they didn't even touch their dividend, or they didn't even touch executive bonuses, okay? So this is how serious they are, because they do not want to cut dividends at all costs. They will only do it at their last resort. And also another thing is, if a company that did not announce dividends and they are starting to announce dividends, that is extremely bullish, which is great, which is because there's mutual funds and hedge funds that only invest in dividend paying companies. So then that's another opportunity for buyers, new buyers, right? These hedge funds might now look at these new stocks and, will try and, buy their shares. So that was going to be a boost for the shares. And also, one other thing, usually on the X dividend date, the stock price will drop typically by this much, because the company's not X, right? That portion is that. So usually you'll see a drop on the X dividend date. So that's all for me today. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will see you guys next time with another video. So please give me your feedback and comments. Thank you guys. Enjoy your weekend.